Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. So, I want to talk about a topic that comes up quite often for us as preppers, and that's losing everything. Okay, multiple ways of doing it. There's some things we can't do anything about. I mean, you look at the folks in Kentucky right now, lost everything. There's some things you cannot prepare for. All right, there's no way I can prepare for my house to be blown over, and save my preps or anything I have. Hopefully that you have preps in multiple different locations. People have mentioned burying things, underground storage, whatever would be. Definitely that will help. That will save some of it. But I know, and everybody knows most of the stuff that you have is somehow going to be kept above ground in your house unless you've got some sort of $500,000 bunker in your backyard, which most of us don't have, okay? But losing everything can come in many ways. And a lot of you guys have asked me in the past, can my preps be seized? Okay, now that could become a Third Amendment issue. The government comes in and says, okay, it's wartime and we need food, so we're taking your preps. Again, Third Amendment says with your approval, so now you're talking about martial law. So that one gets real iffy, okay, if they can. But more importantly, losing your preps, having anything seized, okay, is basically a violation of the Fourth Amendment, like I said yesterday, okay? The right to the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, period, okay? However, it's done all the time, okay? And this is what you need to prepare for. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, Bitcoin, let's put our assets in Bitcoin. The government can't get a hold of that. That's about the stupidest piece of misinformation there is out there. All right, I want to give you this. The U.S. government has been seizing and auctioning off Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is, for years, okay? Give you this. Here's some stats for you. In 2019, the U.S. government seized about $700,000 worth of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies as a whole, but I'll just call them Bitcoin for sake of argument. $700,000 worth in 2019. In 2020, they seized 137 million in Bitcoin. Okay, it's a nice jump from 700 million. So far in 2021, they've seized $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. But remember, so many people tell you, your money's safe in Bitcoin, keep it there, because it's hidden, nobody can find it. Right, $1.2 billion worth this year. Okay. Now, most of this comes from cybercrime. You think of a lot of the stuff last year came from the Silk Road, the dark web, where people were trading drugs, kiddie porn, whatever it would be, and the government busted in on it and seized a bunch of crypto. Fine, okay, the criminal element, great. But how about this one, all right? And this goes back a few months ago. Remember the Colonial Pipeline deal, where hackers got into Colonial Pipeline with ransomware? Well, the ransom was paid in Bitcoin, the way the hackers wanted it. Okay, 63.7 Bitcoins were paid in ransom. Colonial came back up. The government followed the money, and seized the 63.7 Bitcoins, which at the time was worth about $2.3 million. Did Colonial get it back? Nope. That is now proceeds from a crime. Therefore, the government can seize it. Now, what does the government do with it? Well, this goes in the forfeited assets fund or whatever it would be. And then the government could liquidate whatever they have, and then they can put it into whatever budget they want to. Okay, so, we want to put it into, one of Nancy Pelosi's pork projects. Hey, great. You know what? We've got $2.3 million extra from this asset seizure that we could do. This is what I'm saying, guys. There is no safe haven from anything being seized from you. Whether it's your food, your bank account, the gold and silver that you keep at home, your Bitcoin, whatever. If they want it, they'll come up with some way to take it. I think y'all agree, we certainly are not going to say, well, the government would never lie in court. Now, let's think about those FISA warrants. Remember those? Okay. Let's think about Adam Schiff, okay? There's not a word that comes out of his mouth in regards to anything in regards to a legal case that isn't a lie. I mean, he's been busted so many times, it's unbelievable. Yet he's still in Congress, but that's another story. So it behooves you to put your preps in many different places, okay? Obviously, we all talk about holding things physically, cash, gold, silver, whatever it would be. The bank, that's too easy for somebody to do when they go tap, 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 poof, and your bank account balance is zero. We know about, gold and silver vaults, tap, 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 balance zero, okay? They can't do that without now digging holes in your backyard or whatever it would be, if you got it physically, but they can still do that. Figure out different places, multiple places to stock store your stuff. Because whether it's a tornado ripping through and tearing your house apart and scattering your preps to the four winds, whether it's a government seizure, whether it's a fire, whatever it would be, there are plenty of ways that your assets, your preps, can miraculously disappear. We can't prep for it all, okay? Nuclear bomb goes off in my yard and vaporizes everything. Okay, my preps are gone, but then so am I, so who cares? But something to think about. Where do you have stuff stored? And I know people have asked, should I get a self-storage facility? No, okay. That's not going to be a reasonable place to do it because that's too easy. Bolt cutters, boom, I'm in, okay? And in an SHTF situation, I can guarantee you self-storage facilities are going to be one of the very early places that are going to be pilfered, okay? They'll hit the stores, then they're going to hit the self-storage places. It's finding places that people wouldn't think about. If you got 5 acres and you all of a sudden bury something in your vegetable garden, for example, you're not going to have anybody start digging up your entire 5 acres going, there might be something here, but you know where it is, okay? Whatever it would be. Get creative. It could be very important. Have a good Tuesday. Pinball out.